guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers, and today we are going to talk about avoiding actually becoming a resident or a citizen here in Italy and just getting a dream home on a vacation second home basis, which might be for you. I did a video previously which went pretty viral about, some people want to move to Italy. Are you one of them? And some people sadly are not. It's a very big experience, and some people might just be happier doing this. So we're going to go over that and why that might be a really good option for you. Now, first of all, I want to say that you can come to Italy with your passport, your American passport, and various other passports, and you can stay for, if you're not an EU citizen, you can stay for 90 days. And then you have to leave, and then you got to be out for 90 days, and then you can come back for 90 days. So you're always jumping back and forth. We call it the Schengen shuffle, where you're in the Schengen area, meaning the EU area. A lot of parts of Europe, you can be in the Schengen area for 90 days, and then you have to go out. So some people go to Albania. Croatia was a destination, but I think it's now part of the EU. In any case, 90 days in, 90 days out with your passport, and you can do that. And a lot of people do that. So that's the basis as to why this video is even necessary. So people who want to be here a lot and a long periods and whatnot, they're going to want to get their residency or their citizenship or whatever. And I will tell you, it's a huge project to do that. There are legal fees involved, there's bureaucracy involved, and when you first come over here, it can be overwhelming. You're dealing with language barriers, you're dealing with bureaucracy, you're dealing with things that patently just don't make sense to you coming from America, for example. It's a whole different can of worms, and sometimes it can be intensely frustrating. And sometimes there are situations where you have to put the cart before the horse. So, like, for example, if you want to be a resident, you either have to own a home here in Italy, or you have to have a rental contract. So you get a rental contract, then you find out you can't be a resident. That's a problem. In addition, rentals come unfurnished, and that means no kitchen. So you've got to give it a lot of thought and a lot of research before even thinking about doing something like that. 2026 is kind of the year of the seasonal local, right? People who come for 90 days and then leave for 90 days. And one of the reasons is that the digital Nomad visa system is getting a little overcrowded, and there are a lot of things required. First of all, you have to be a highly qualified worker, which has its own set of criteria and specifics. You need certain documentation. You need certain earning requirements and things like that. You can't make your money in Italy, so you can't come over and go, I'm going to be a remote worker and work for a company in Milan or something like that. You can't do that. There's a lot to that, which is a whole separate video. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do one on that, but I kind of don't think there's enough people that really are interested in that particular line. So understand that that is its own thing. Now, one of the big reasons, the biggest reason I think that you want to avoid living here and getting residency and that kind of thing, unless you're an EU citizen, in that case it's very simple. The main reason in my mind is the Questura. I will say that the Questura, to me, if you like a migraine headache, you're going to love the Questura. I've been twice, and I have never heard anybody who has been seeking residency or citizenship wake up and say, hey, I'm so happy, today's my day at the Questura, there's going to be cake. There's no cake at the Questura. There's only migraine headaches, in my personal experience. So if you can avoid the Questura, unless absolutely necessary, please do. Now, being a part-time resident, you still get that psychological shift from being a tourist. You still show up in your toothbrushes here and all your clothes from last year, which is always like, you open your closet, oh, I forgot about that. It's like shopping, but shopping in your closet. And you can fold yourself into the village very, very easily. I've seen so many people purchase a vacation home and make friends with the locals, and then the locals eagerly await your visits and whatnot. So it's really a nice kind of thing because you are still part of a community here. You're just absent for part of the year, but it's never for very long. So that's really, really good. Now, another thing I will say is if you have grandkids and you're expecting to come move over here and be happy, I guess if you're not really that connected with your grandkids, that's one thing, but I know a lot of people with grandkids that it's hard. It's hard for them to be over here and have the grandkids over in the US or whatever other country it is. It's difficult for them to travel with children. They probably won't travel with children until they get older, and even then sometimes they won't. So understand that as well. Now let's look at mastering the 6-month split. The best thing to do, because you really have to track your days carefully, because if you go over, you can actually be barred from entering Italy. Again, I don't know for how long, but it could be a major problem. You show up at the airport, you can't get in. Okay, so they have various different apps that you can use to track your days in and your days out. And what I've done is I've created a special PDF of those apps that you can get. You have to come over to the school. We have a school community over there. It's free. Come join school. The PDFs are free too. And we're putting all our PDFs and everything over in the school community, which is great because you can talk to each other, you can ask us questions, and you get a lot of free downloads and things like that. This is one of them, and I have another one coming up later in this video. That's probably the main thing, the thing you want to be most careful about, because there are consequences that you would really be best to avoid. Now, understand that your second home status means you're going to pay a little more in taxes. You'll pay a little more of a transfer tax, meaning when you buy your house, the transfer tax is generally 2% if it's prima casa, meaning your residence. But if not, if you don't have residency, it's 9% of the cadastral value of the house. Now, the cadastral value is different from the market value. The cadastral value is simply and only the value of your property for tax purposes. It has nothing to do with the market value, and when the house gets bought or sold, that does not change. The cadastral value is always the cadastral value. Many, many times it's much lower than the market value. Just understand that going in too. And that's another point I want to put in about somebody buying a house when they find out, their purchase price is $120,000 and the cadastral value is $35,000. You're not getting ripped off. No, the cadastral value was created when it was created, and it probably hasn't changed since then. Now, a couple of things I do want to put in. Having a vacation home is very, very different than living here in Italy. Your house is going to be vacant for a good part of the year. And that brings up specific problems. Number one, houses that are empty and our vacation homes tend to be targeted by thieves, and word gets around fast. I mean, everywhere it just gets around fast that you're not always there. So I've heard of thieves actually backing up a truck. They have weeks to unload everything in your house, and you arrive and there's nothing in your house. That's one scenario, but that's not the worst of it. The worst of it could be squatters. Squatters can move in, and if they're there, and let's say they have kids or whatever, good luck trying to get them out. It is a nightmare. So what I would make sure is that when you purchase your home in Italy, it's in a place like in a historic center or in a condo or something that's not easily accessible, that somebody can't back up a truck to, like these beautiful villas that you see. Unless you have somebody, kind of living there and caretaking for you or coming in daily or whatever, it's very easy for somebody to back up a truck, empty out all your belongings, or just move in, which is a horrible nightmare from what I'm understanding. So my advice to you is find something in a nice condo, something, or perhaps something in a historic center or in a community where it's very much less likely that somebody can come in and offload all of your furniture and everything from your house, or somebody can just move in and take over. Now, some of the logistical workarounds for non-residents. Of course, you'll need a codice fiscale, especially if you're going to rent or if you're going to buy a house or if you're going to buy furniture, anything. You need a codice fiscale, which is the Italian tax code. Very easy to get. There are many companies that actually get them for you. In fact, we are going to be talking about one coming up in the next few weeks where you can go online and get your codice fiscale in addition to other services that they offer. So understand that if you're going to be living here, you need a codice fiscale. As a tourist, you do not. You're also going to need help setting up your, people say you need a bank account. We never have a bank account. We use Wise. Everybody takes Wise. We've only encountered one transaction in all of the property transactions that we've been a part of that they didn't want to use Wise, and that was just the personal comfort of the notaio. Most notaios, in fact, every notaio up until this point has accepted Wise or online OFX, whatever, banks and that kind of thing. And you can pay a lot of bill paying and that sort of thing. There are certain bills, tax bills, or refuge or water bills or whatever. I can't remember which bill it was, but here in Torita, you have to go pay it. and it's once every 6 months. So you might not be here when the bill arrives. It might be a nice thing to have somebody that you hire in your village or nearby in your condo, somebody you trust implicitly, as implicitly as you can, to caretake. Leave the keys with you in case there's, God forbid, a water leak or anything happens. In addition, they can check your mail. They can make sure that you are made aware of anything like that. They can pay your taxes for you. We have Ivan Di Luca at Casabella Immobiliare. I don't know if he does it for everybody, but he does it for us, and he's been wonderful. Another thing that's very important is get your internet up and running. Of course, Starlink is very good. We love Starlink here. It covers everything. And it's very easy to install, and it's very affordable as well. So that's one, but there's other, internet providers if you want to use them as well. Doing that allows you to put security cameras outside your house or even inside your house. Now, if you're going to do that and you're going to have a caretaker, I would definitely tell the caretaker, look, I have cameras up there to monitor everything, just understand so that you're not offended if I tell you later or something like that, to avoid an awkward situation. And it also helps because, like I said, word travels fast. And if somebody knows, some criminal element hears in the bar one day that you're not there, but that you have security cameras inside the house, they might be less likely to back their truck up and try to do something. Now, in 2026, the markets all over Italy are favoring the hill towns, the beautiful medieval hill towns, the lovely, villages that are here that are just so picturesque. I mean, whenever you look at travel brochures, it's always the medieval hill towns you see on them. And they are gorgeous. And many of them, because they're hill towns, you have a view, which is really wonderful. And the thing is, being undervalued like they are, like most of the Italian young people move out of the hill towns and they move down close to work or where things are a little more accommodating for their lifestyle, which means that there's a lot of inventory in these towns, and the Italian government really wants people to move into them. So that's a wonderful part. In addition, everything's cheaper there. The prices here in Torita are so much less than California. It's mind-boggling how much less they are. And the quality of ingredients here is so much better. If you can picture the world's most high-end organic, farmer's market, with cheeses that were local without anything messing them up, no chemical additives, nothing like that. And then the meats, like the same thing. You can imagine what it's like to eat on a daily basis just from the shops around here. We have one of the most amazing macellerias in the world here. They export all over the globe. It's called Macelleria Belli. You can look them up online. They're amazing. And then the little supermarket where I can get the cheeses, and then if I don't find it there, I go down to the co-op down there, and they have everything. It is just the most amazing place to find really good, really flavorful, really fresh, and really healthy food. So if you're living, out of the big cities and more toward the rural areas, you're going to, first of all, your housing is going to be way cheaper. Everything else is going to be way cheaper too. So you're going to be able to offset to some degree the costs of flying over and that sort of thing, because your property is going to be a lot less and the food and everything else is cheaper. So it's not going to be prohibitively expensive when you arrive here. Now, what this gives you is sustainable, slow living for the long haul. You have your place here, you become part of the community, you fold yourself in. It's real life rather than being on holiday, and it feels like real life. You have your friends here, you see them. We have a little bar down here, the Bar Door it's called, because it's right next to Porta Nova. And we pop in and we see friends in there. So we sit down and have a coffee with them or a cornetto or something like that. And it's always nice. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know if you're ever in a dorm or something like that. You go out and there's all your friends out there. I was never in a dorm. I assume it's that way. Now, you're going to need a checklist, a big 180-day checklist for all the things that you need to pay attention to for your first 180 days after you purchase your property and you decide to do the second home lifestyle, which is a thing. So I have created this beautiful checklist for you, and that is also on School. Now, School is a community-based platform, And we started our little Super Savvy Italy community, and we're starting to fill up now with a lot of people. We make all of our courses available there. We make all of our PDFs there. I do PDF downloads, helpful ones like the ones I'm giving you today, for free. All you do is you go over there and sign up, and you're part of the community. Plus, we're going to be having some events as soon as there's enough people to make it worthwhile. We're going to have some events that we do all together as a group, and it's going to be so much fun. So go join school, get those downloads, write me. If you have any questions, you can put them on the school platform, or you can send us an email. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. So there you go, guys. See you soon.